cord here. Doesn't matter. We're only one's going to see it.
Hi, honey.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, it's so swollen today.
What's
I love you. Your face. I love you. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. Too much going on,
You're here.
but this is so important. So yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So what's opened up in response to our last week? What has opened up for you?
Well, let me think here. How do I want to put this? I've had a lot of opportunities to use my tools to calm myself down. And the house is coming along and things are looking good. But it's been a rough week. It's kind of been a rough week. And then we're sitting here waiting for the snow, which still hasn't come yet. So anyway, had to do a bunch of tapping this week.
Okay. So you're using.
Remember what you said to me about a vacuum? That's kind of what it's been like. There's a vacuum that's opened up because I'm not dealing with the other part. So there's been a shift, but I'm getting there.
Okay. So let's go over do you have your notes in front of you?
Okay, let me see.
You want your power statement and your intention. And I want you to say them so that resonates with you, or if there needs to be a modification, you can, feel that and do that. But go ahead and read them out loud.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm so happy. What was it? I'm so happy and excited. I'm trying to make sure that this is from last week. Okay. I'm sorry. Hold on.
That's all right.
Okay. Okay, so the last one I had was, I'm so happy and excited that my house is up for sale and that I will be moving to Susanville. I've got notes here on patterning a new vibration. I did an index card on self-care.
What does the index card say?
Hold on. Is it in here? Oh, okay. Allow myself more sleep. Do your tapping. Make a journal for daily lists. I did that. Let's see. Remember you are enough. Love yourself. And then on the bottom, it says you are profoundly generous, more than enough to share with others from my overflow.
So that's your power statement.
Right. Right.
You are more than enough. What was it? You are profound. You were what?
You are profoundly generous. You are more than enough, and you have enough to share with others from your overflow.
So the idea behind the power statement is that's the statement you make frequently and feel it, because it settles, or it resonates in your center of, the whole idea of getting to that point was to identify the blocks, right?
Right.
The things like I'm not enough, I'm invisible, but that's your power statement. So that's like your mission statement.
Right, and under that, it says, I choose to please myself, then others from my overflow. So that was
Uh-huh.
part of the whole
Yeah.
thing.
See, and that's part of that receiving thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's the other side of that, that blocking receiving. So it's like to get deep into that part, you know, heal that part. And when as you heal
Right.
it, it becomes a vacuum for something greater, for the new way of being. I want to take a minute.
And then holding presence. Holding presence
Okay.
was big last week, and I've been trying to practice that as much as I can with whoever I'm talking to.
So go ahead and say your power statements. About say it about 3 times and put as much feeling into it as you can. Just practice it.
Okay, so Tammy, you are profoundly generous. You are more than enough, and you have you have enough to share with others from your overflow.
Change it to I am
And
statements.
Okay. Okay. I am profoundly generous. I am more than enough and have more than enough to share with others from my overflow. I choose to please myself, then others from my overflow.
Mm-hmm.
I choose to do that.
Uh-huh. And again.
I am profoundly generous. I am more than enough, and I have more than enough to share with others from my overflow. I choose to please myself, then others from my overflow.
Yeah, I feel it. I can hear it deeper. Go one more time.
I am profoundly generous. I am more than enough and have more than enough to share with others from my overflow. I choose to please myself, then others from my overflow.
Yeah. How's that feel?
It feels good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it resonates deep.
I love that I choose, because I can see, I said, I will, and you told me, said, put that to choose. And so I did.
Mm-hmm. Really powerful. And it occurs to me, we haven't done a meditation.
Okay.
So let me put Newt out just in case he starts growling in the middle of it. Yeah, you're already growling at me. Go on. Okay. Yeah, as we were talking, I went, oh, wow, we didn't do our meditation. So putting everything to one side and closing your eyes and just settling back, sitting where you're sitting, becoming aware of your body. And let's just take 3 gentle breaths. 1, inhale, and then exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And as you inhale, notice where the constriction is. Go ahead and exhale. Continue to breathe. Notice where your breath goes. Does it go up into your chest, in the tightness in your chest? Or are you able to breathe all the way down to your belly? Notice where the tension is. And then this next breath, see if you can relax that a little bit by taking a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, feel a wave of relaxation going down your body. Let's do that again. And feel that wave of relaxation as you exhale. And we've already begun to move from ordinary awareness to extraordinary awareness. But in part of that, letting all the thoughts of the day so far, all the thoughts of your life this week, just drift off to one side and just dissolve into pieces for a little while. Just, it's gone as we move into extraordinary awareness. So moving your awareness down your body, down to that pelvic area, and just settle in there for a moment and feel what it feels like, expanding it to wide and deep, radiating throughout your body, covering every inch every centimeter, every bit of it, all contained within your body. And now let's move that awareness down your legs and down to your feet and into the earth. And if you can imagine going about 10 feet in and just hooking around something in Mother Earth, just hooking, anchoring to Mother Earth, and feeling the energy and nutrients coming up to your body and meeting in that wide and deep place in that pelvic area. Now expanding that throughout your body. That sensation of filling your cup and then overflowing for others. Overflowing and feeding others. And taking such good care of ourselves. And stepping up and doing the right thing. And be willing to hold paradox and still moving through it. I want to say some appreciation to you for being there for me yesterday. And I want in this moment for you just to receive that love and appreciation like you've never felt it before. Because you deserve it. You're a shining light. You're a powerful woman. You have beautiful values encompassing your family. Settle in that space of how deserving you are of the goodness in life. And knowing what we put out comes back tenfold. Feel that abundance radiating through you. And over the top of the cup and into the saucer as it feeds those you love. And see yourself lighting the way. It's in the most wise and comforting way that you support others. The ability to step back and look at the big picture and want to be about love in your family. That was a powerful stance, or is a powerful stance you've taken toward Dennis. Give yourself credit for that. And look at the modeling you're doing. So what a wonderful matriarch. So dropping into your body and expanding to the edges of the room. And now I want to invite your future self in and let her take you on the journey of your new home and all the possibilities there. The kids coming to that safe place where home is the safest place on earth for all who enter. That means people will be loved unconditionally, respected, supported, cherished. Taught by teaching and by example. Because there's this wise woman that lives there. You're on your porch. You're painting pots with Amy and Echo. Having conversations that you'll never forget. Really get a sense for your values and what you want for this family. And set your intention on how to show up to manifest that. How will you show up? What tools will you use and have available and teach to them? And let's just take a moment and be in the place of I'm 100% responsible for what I say, what I think, what I feel, and what I do. I'm 100% responsible for what I say, what I think, what I feel, and what I do. And now see yourself with that, and then see your daughter with that, holding her in that space, holding Echo in that space, holding Dennis in that space, holding Tami in that space. See if we can lift up the possibilities. Look how far he's come. Let's give him that power to be responsible, just by the way you've been doing it, by teaching him. So any doubts you might have about that, let's just lift them up. And for a moment, see that vision of him being responsible for his behavior, of him learning to control his behavior, of him healing from the loss. See peace in this relationship. See the unconditional love. And holding that. And you can only make this possible by taking the best care of you. So if you can imagine seeing this relationship with unconditional love, see it in the energy of your overflow, not of you giving up on you or missing out. See it in the energy of your overflow. Okay, let's go back to our body. And I want you in this moment, notice, is there a message from your future self or your inner guidance that you need to hear right now? So just notice if anything comes up, because you're in this deep space, this deep receptive space. So back to your body and feeling the air temperature on your skin. Then we say thank you, and so it is, and so it shall be. And you can stretch and open your eyes. Yours is always a journey of I just can let go. And how'd that go for you?
It was really good. I mean, I feel so much better.
What was most impactful? Did you have a message?
Yeah, I basically, since I'm doing a shift from getting them out to getting the place fixed, I have been feeling some barriers inside myself, like, oh, I can take this day off. I don't have to deal with this today. I've been kind of using the snow as an excuse to not do things. And basically the message was, you'll get there quicker if you get to work and just start making the phone calls, start getting the stuff done so that you can get into the new house and get this great feeling. I could also feel some kind of power coming in through my hands when I meditate. Now I've been like putting my hand up to catch it, and I can feel a weight and something going in through my hand, coming in through my arm and filling my chest. So I've been doing this when I'm meditating on my own, one hand up to catch the power. I don't know if that sounds silly, but I can feel it in my hand.
That's really powerful.
Coming into my body and spreading across.
So do this for me. Rub your hands together. And now close your eyes and then separate your hands. Separate your hands okay, and then move them back and forth and see if you can feel the energy in there.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So is that the kind of energy you feel going into that one hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I put both hands up. But yeah, I can feel it right now. It's like there's a soft ball or something right there that I'm pushing on.
So that's,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So you have energy around you, right?
Right.
There's the aura, there's levels of consciousness, but it just goes to show that there's an energy field around us, right? I know that when we do the future self and hold that way, something happens to my hands when I'm doing that,
Yes.
But
Right.
when you rub your hands and get the energy ignited and then, move your hands, you closing your eyes helps you not focus on, oh, well, my hands are that close. I can still feel it with my eyes open, but it just seems to be more effective, So energy never dies. Energy, in spiritualism, they say they believe in the change, or that energy, the spirit move or goes on after the so-called the change, so-called change of death, right? That energy never dies, it just changes form. We have this energy, and then there's all the universal laws that tie in. For example, and I'm going to cop to something. So when I was on the dog food thing, when I was living in that space of, and let me say, I toggled back and forth in abundance to lack. Right. So that was a lack mentality where, if I was in abundance, I would have said, sure, go ahead, and just let it go, because knowing that there was an abundance of food and everything was going to be fine. Right. At that moment, I was in the lack mentality. I only have so much, I don't even need to say it, but it's like, I only have so much, and this and that, and this and that. None of which is important, but the point is relevant, relevant. And I see that. And my sister and I talked about, my younger sister, not Meredith, but that's out of fear. So I want to invite you to notice in your own life where you lock down out of fear and not live your full potential, right? Or not live in abundance. And so demonstrating the universe has our back, we can say that and we can feel it, but we really consciously have to aim that boat, pilot that boat, direct that boat, right? Just like my sister, my oldest sister says, because of our upbringing, that every day she has to work on her self-worth. And I totally get it. Do you get it? It has to be active participation all the time. Otherwise, it's easy to slip. Otherwise, it's easy to slip in that dark place. And that rabbit hole is dark and it's hard to get out. Oh, yeah. Once you're down there, it's really hard to get out. You have to go like some, obscene bottom, sometimes. So, yeah. The other thing is, well, we just have to do the work, right? And I love the analogy of tool belts. I've been using that myself for a long time, because it goes from being a jack of all trades, like from the identity matrix about, pleasing. You learn to do everything because you're so focused on pleasing, you figure it out. So you get to be a jack of all trades. Well, we can turn that into, I have many talents. I have many gifts and abilities out of it, right? And that's more, it's kinder to us, right? So what's my point? How we look at it is important, and when we catch ourselves being in the lack, because that probably did look selfish to Meredith. There's 2 bags of dog food sitting in the garage. Right. We both have a perspective, and it goes back to that holding paradox. Right. Now let's talk about Dennis. So you reached out to Dennis and you had some feelings of rejection, you mentioned. Yeah. And then you were able to articulate, and really to boil it down, that's how Dennis rolls. Right. Because he's in power. Did he know when, Had you called him before he said something to Amy?
No, because I was kind of waiting for her to tell me when. I didn't want to jump in and do something wrong. And so I asked her,
Mhm,
I said, should I give him a call? And she said, he said something about it. So I said, oh, well, don't tell him that you talked to me about it. Let me just call him.
mhm.
And so now today she's going to mention to him, gosh, my mom said she's been trying to contact you and left a couple of messages,
Oh, that's good. I like that,
Yeah.
because he really
And
does, huh?
yeah.
Go
Well,
ahead.
once he knows it, once I know he knows it, then he can just choose not to contact me. But that's another paradox. It's like, gosh, you're living with my mom and your mom hasn't even contacted me. And then I do,
Mhm.
and I don't get a response. So that's the paradox of Dennis. But
Yeah.
I'm choosing not to feel bad about this because I talked to Amy about it last night and I said, and I was honest, I said, there's always this one person in the family that you have to walk on eggshells and everybody's trying not to upset that person. And I said, I'm really tired of that. And I know you are too,
Mhm,
and it is a paradox. Like you said, they say they want something, you give it to them and then there's no response. That's the problem with Dennis. That's the problem. Doesn't communicate. So he says what his needs are. And so you try to provide the needs and then he just acts like it never happened. So, that's something we've put up with for a long time. So I'm choosing not to feel bad about it.
mhm.
I did the right thing. He knows it. And probably what he's waiting for is the next time we see each other, he's just going to be really nice to me, but he's not going to mention that we're not going to talk about that.
Mhm.
He won't let it happen. So it's okay. I was more upset yesterday than I am today.
So when the
Yeah.
next time you do meet him, how can you show up with him in ways that lets that go, but lets him know that you're supportive of him or that you care about him?
Well, for one thing, I'll tell him.
Mhm,
I straight out tell him. And there are times that I just give him a hug and he doesn't really hug back, but I'll tell him, I feel the need to hug you and I'm going to. I know it makes you feel uncomfortable, but I need it. And
mhm,
so I'll hug him anyway.
mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm,
And I want him to know that I'm there for him. I mean, he could get a lot done by talking to me because I
mhm,
could be Switzerland when I'm talking to him, you
mhm.
know.
Do you think maybe he
Uh,
assumes you're going to just take Amy's side?
yeah, and he's probably upset because his whole family took Amy's side.
Well, and he
But
probably figures it was everybody's idea but Amy's,
right,
because Amy can't
exactly,
think for herself,
right,
in his eyes. He's,
yeah,
he as evidenced by he's had to be the boss and the ruler. Right? There must be,
yeah,
may
yeah.
not consciously think that out, but he probably has had the attitude that she can't think for herself, that she's dumb or stupid and he has to do certain things. I mean, he's probably said as much in some of his rantings to her.
Oh yeah, and he does things on purpose to make you feel stupid. And then like I'm really good at trivia games and he likes to play games all the time. And so
I'm sure he does.
we used to always play trivia games, right? And
Mhm.
then I always would win. And he told Amy, he goes, I don't want to play trivia with your mom. She's better at it than I am. And uh so we don't play trivia games. We only play games where he can win.
Mhm.
You see?
Yeah.
So he tries to find the most difficult in another language, German, Scandinavian freaking game that goes on for 3 or 4 days and takes all kinds of, stuff. And, he sets things up so that he feels as if, I mean, it says on the back of his car, it says, BOWTOME, bow to me. That's what his vanity plate says on his car.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's like a neon sign.
Yeah. Bow to me.
When wow. So, and so look at how Amy's been able to break away, you know,
Mhm.
and she's, you know, ongoing, you know, still got to work on, you know, all the stuff that comes up and, you know, but
Yeah.
wow, powerful, you know, because that is a really hard thing. A dictatorship is a really hard thing to advocate from.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I
know,
asked her about that yesterday. I said, do you feel as if you should be calling him up while you're making decisions and making sure? And she goes, I have to stop myself. It's such
oh,
an old habit.
mhm,
To you know, she has to be able to trust herself to make her own decisions. That's hard to do. And I felt sorry for her yesterday because they've had her on Valium while they're waiting for the Lexapro to jump in, you know, to
mhm,
kick in. It takes a while. And so she's telling me she's taking a Valium in the morning and then another one in the afternoon, but she has to lay down and sleep during her lunch hour and she finds herself falling asleep. I said, well, then don't take it. She goes, well, if I don't take it, I'll panic. And I said, no, you have tools to keep you from panicking. I said, at the very least, cut your dose in half. So she didn't take any yesterday at all. But when she got to her house, because she had the day off, she laid down and she fell asleep and she set an alarm to go pick Echo up, but she slept through the alarm. So
mhm.
Echo had to call her dad and get him to come from work and come pick her up from school. And Amy said she woke up and Dennis and Dennis and Echo were standing at the end of the couch in her new apartment where she was asleep and
Mm.
had slept through the whole thing. So she was bashing herself yesterday. And I said, honey, you are just overwhelmed and over medicated right now. And so you made a mistake.
Mhm.
You made a mistake.
Well, the thing is that she's been doing really well and making really good decisions. And before the Valium arrived,
Right.
that's a problem waiting to happen. They really
Mhm.
prescribed Valium 3 times a day
No, twice a day. And
as needed or on schedule.
on schedule. And I
Well,
told her, I do not agree with what your doctor's doing. They did the same thing with me with Xanax, and I just didn't take it. I waited for the Lexapro to kick in, and I know it takes a couple of weeks, but you have tools to handle your panic attacks and your anxiety. You have tools now to do that, and you need to use those tools, not mask everything with drugs. So
yeah.
I said, if I were you, if you're not at work and you're having a panic attack, I guess you could take one, but I don't really want you to do a rescue drug either. I want you to tap or meditate
Well, and then
or
there's the
take an
proactive thing.
inventory. Yeah.
Or what? Take inventory?
Take an inventory. Have you eaten? Have you drank enough water?
Mhm.
You know, that kind of
Good.
thing. Would a
Mhm,
shower or a bath help calm you?
mhm.
Natural things that are maybe giving you problems. You know what I mean?
Because
Find solutions in other ways.
this is dangerous. I mean,
Mhm.
what if she got sleepy on the way home and had an accident? Then she would not be in
Yeah,
power in her life, you know, and it would,
right.
you know, so instead of like beating up on herself about it, this is a wake up call and oh my gosh, that stuff's dangerous. You know,
Yes.
so I need to do something different. But, you know, I
Yeah, she
just
shouldn't be
wonder,
driving around and shouldn't be
yeah,
driving around.
yeah.
So what she's been doing is if she's coming from Carson and going to, you know, Reno, she's talking to me on the phone the whole entire way because I don't want her driving because she's taking Valium, but she has to. So yesterday she said after she made that mistake with Echo, and she didn't take any yesterday, but she's still at it in her system. She's not going to take it anymore. She's just going to brave it out like I did. They gave me a rescue drug because the Lexapro takes a while to kick in, a couple weeks.
Well, see, but a rescue drug, you know, I can't even, it blows me away that they're prescribing it as a scheduled drug,
Yeah,
save it for a panic attack, and use all your tools
Right.
first, but
right.
but I bet if she read that prescription, if it says as needed, that means you get to a day, you can take one, to two for a panic attack, every 6 hours as needed. Or it'll say,
Right.
I would love to know what that prescription said, because people misread
I'm
them
gonna
all the
ask
time.
her. I'm gonna ask
Because
her today.
because as needed does not mean take them twice a day on schedule. Clearly that's too
No.
much, and
Right.
then it's a highly addictive drug.
Oh, God,
It
yeah.
is.
I was not happy with the Valium thing.
I was
And she
surprised.
goes, well, don't you ever take it? And I said, I don't have a prescription for Valium. I don't have a prescription for anything but Lexapro. And Tommy takes Valium, Ativan as needed for seizure clusters,
Mhm.
but I have never taken one of his pills. Like the pharmacist said, you haven't refilled this in a year. And I said, well, it lasted a year. She said, the 15 that you had. And I said, yeah, I pop them in half and I only give them as totally needed. I
Mhm.
try everything else first besides give him that. I don't want him addicted to Valium,
Right.
So yeah, so she said she's not taking it. She's just gonna battle it through. She's not gonna take the Valium anymore because it actually screwed her up with picking up her daughter at school, and she's never done that before.
Well, that was a huge
So-
wake up call. Good. And then just reminding her of tools, and
Yeah.
then if she's having panic attacks, it is her responsibility to be more proactive with herself. I'm 100% responsible for what I say, what I think, what I feel, and what I do. And I'll work with that
Right.
with her tomorrow.
Okay, good.
Right. So
Yeah.
let me make a note.
Oh my.
Say,
Ask her about what med she's taking and then ask her what it says on the script on the bottle. I should have done that.
I'll put Valium and a question mark. Now, she got that after I talked to her, huh?
Yeah, I think the psychologist, the person that's counseling her wrote the prescription. I'm not sure who did, but they said that it was, she could only have it for 2 weeks. So she only had a 2-week supply.
So I
And then
guarantee.
after, yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. Finish
Good.
your thought.
Well, I told her that with, she could start anticipating because her mind would be telling her she needed the Valium. And then she said it was only for 2 weeks, that they only gave her a 2-week supply and she's supposed to go off of it while she's giving the Lexapro 2 weeks to kick in.
So here's the thing.
Mhm.
If they gave her 2 weeks of Valium, it was probably written as needed versus
I'll bet you.
twice a day, because you don't give Valium twice a day for 2 weeks and then abruptly stop. That would be a bad practice.
Right.
Because that Lexapro is not going to cross over and jump right in where the Valium is. You know what I mean? You're still going to have some withdrawals from that benzodiazepine. So
Right.
that's a dangerous thing.
I talked to her about benzos and said, this is bad, honey.
Mhm.
The Lexapro is something else, but the Valium is a dangerous thing for you to be doing.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to you.
Okay.
And I know that's part of you. But
Yeah.
let's get back to you. Okay. So I wanted to share something. Okay. I'm already good about so I would like to suggest that you read your statement, put it on its own index card and read it a few times a day.
Okay.
Say it and read it a couple of times, because as you noticed, each time you read it, and you'll get to where you can say it won't even need the card, but
Right.
doing that, it helps you be in vibration. In fact, I think I need a new statement myself, because my life has shifted.
Yeah.
and I'm
I'm
compelled to
proud of you,
remind.
though. I am proud of you.
Thanks.
You just went with what had to be done. You started making phone calls, you got your support around you, you came up with a plan, and so yeah, good
Well,
job.
Matt said this morning that just to tell them that he's renting the apartment with me.
Oh, okay.
So he'll co-sign and his
What a
credit will be
great
fine.
deal.
And I'm asking for a 2-bedroom. I'm going to write out an affirmation and do a vision board, you know, and
Right.
really step into those possibilities. So it was really powerful yesterday with me that when the girls were talking to me, you already know that you made this decision to move from a deeper place. You know, you
Right.
dealt with the physical, the mental, you know, and then now this is the spiritual, right? So when you make a
Right.
decision and you make a list from that deeper spiritual place, instead of just the mental, I got to do this, I got to do that, or the physical, you know, having to deal with all the physical things that went on there, you know, the shit that was laying around, whatever. But
Right.
to make that list from a spiritual place, that, you know, really dropping down and, you know, what do I need to do? What, you know, and just let it roll, right? And yeah, be like your witness self. Yeah. And
Yeah, that
then
non-judgmental person. Yeah.
because what happens, I think, is we get caught up in the eddies and the river, and the eddies are repetitive thinking, going round and round and round and round. They get stuck over there, right? So we want to stay on the mainstream of things. When we get
Making lists help with that.
they do.
Physically making a list,
Mhm.
you know, so I actually made a list this morning of things that I should be doing first, and what was the most important, and prioritizing the list.
Mhm.
So right now it's just basic. It's like, get the floors down and get the paint in there. Because if we do that, then we can really be showing the place,
Mhm.
and it's more likely to sell. So I'm gonna have to drop $10,000 on that house again. And I think that the blockage is, I am sick of putting money in that house, and it's hurting me to
Mhm.
drop another 10,000. But it has to happen. It has to. The payback on that is going to be huge. It'll sell for more. It's an investment. It just has to be done.
Well,
And this is why
maybe
I saved the money. Why am I reticent? Huh?
you know, making a list of a 2-sided list, you know, what you're
Right.
feeling about it on one side, and really get it all out, and then why you're doing it. Notice I said why you're
Okay.
doing it, not why you need to do it.
Right. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, a list. I mean, do the negative stuff first. I feel like this, I feel like that. I'm sick of putting money into this fucking house, whatever.
Yes,
is going to make
it
you feel
is.
really good about venting that anger. Because it's like
Right.
in a hypno where you turn it up so that you can turn it down. You turn it up. You know, I'd ask you, what's
Right.
the number, you know, and if it was above a 5 or 5 or above, I'd want to turn it up, or it was okay. But if it was a little below a 5, I want to turn it up again, because I want you to be able to detach from it. See it for
Right.
what it is. It's like, you know, I'm sick of putting money into this house. You know, well, you know what? There's been a lot of life lessons there, and you're so close to creating your dream. So you can, you know, buy my dream house, my forever home, you know, and
Right.
whatever, and set the alarm. I don't know, you know, so that you have to squeeze every bit of it out of you. You know, do it
Right.
like 10 or 15 minutes. You know, first talk
Okay.
about the negative, though, because you want to finish on a positive vibration, but you want to get all
Right.
that negative stuff purged out. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and you might want to hold on to the side of the list that is the whys, the why you do want it. You know, and this is, I want to thank you for this session, because these are all the things I need to hear too.
Well, we're working together now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. And you're going to be okay. And I am too.
I'm going to be so much better because of this. It was a gift. Now,
It was an enforced change.
uh-huh.
It that had to happen for you to be on your journey. That's why we're talking about making decisions from a spiritual place.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
there's speed bumps and weird hairpin turns on this journey.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think, oh, it's a bad thing, but it's like, no, like you said, sometimes you have to tear things down to rebuild them.
Mhm.
And this is going to put you right where you want to be. I don't know how many times I've heard you say, I want to be with my son. And they want you too. He
Yeah,
wants you too.
So here's what I learned yesterday, and this might be powerful. The impulse came up before, but I didn't act on it. Right? I didn't think I
Mhm.
could do it. I didn't think. How was I going to, prove income? Whatever. I didn't have all the pieces. And
Right.
then I also felt like, gosh, it feels so far away, but I forced the universe to make me do it because I wasn't
Right.
listening to the messages. I
Mhm.
wasn't listening. I didn't say, you know what, I need to focus on that and make that happen. Because when I had that $10,000, I could have
Yeah.
paid a couple months rent and told them I, had an income of so much, and even then that
Right.
probably would have helped me. I just didn't think to ask them,
Right.
I didn't think to ask them. And who did my son tell me to call? Matt Barraza.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said,
How come you're not with him? Have you ever considered that?
yeah, he got sick and has pancreatic cancer.
Oh,
And he's also got diabetes and can't be intimate. He can't give me what I want.
okay. Right,
So
right,
he
gotcha.
totally supports me in finding love,
Mhm.
but he's there for me. In fact, he told me this morning he has a bookcase for me. I mean, a hutch or something. What do I want? And I said, sure. I said, if you come across a dinette set, small, because he also asked, did I need a couch? And I said, yes. And if you happen to see a dinette set in any bookshelves, because I have a bedroom set,
Right.
so he says, I'll see what I can find. I'll check and see what we've got.
Oh, how
He'll
nice.
bring me a hutch.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be awesome, huh?
Gonna be okay. Let me let Newt in. Wait, what is it, Newt? Oh, how funny. It was Johnny. He probably wants me, but you looked all surprised. He's sitting there. Oh, anyway, I don't want to talk about me. Let's see. How much time do we have? About 15 or so. Let's see. So,
Oh, I miss it. It says it's almost 11 here.
yeah, but we started 15 minutes late. It was 14 after.
Oh, gotcha.
So I
Okay,
just
thank
wanted
you,
to make
honey.
sure we got a full. So I just wanted, before we move on, next week, we're going to start talking about Power Center 2 and the power to manifest your vision. We're going to get more into that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I want to talk a little bit about making sure that you understand the process, of identifying the block. You know what I mean?
Right.
What's the story? I'm not enough. It's going to be one of those things, I am. If in that story, in that vibration, you say an I am statement, I am, others are, like others aren't trustworthy, identifying what those are, those feelings. So noticing those things that come up. Excuse me. If you feel insecure about something, going in that moment a little deeper and saying, oh, what's that feeling? What am I feeling? Because that's such a key, because you've gotten a lot of the major ones out of the way, the obvious,
Right.
blocks out of the way. Now it's more subtle, kind of like me living in lack by worried about the dog food.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, I got it.
it's an opportunity to look at those more subtle things. And let's go back to visualization and your brother and stuff.
Right.
You can raise that vibration. You already have raised that vibration. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So keep doing what you're doing. It's changing him. And there's a reason you two are together. There's a reason.
Oh, yeah. And, the higher power always, there's a higher power that it always creates an opening for us.
Hmm.
Like, we are absolutely supposed to be together.
Yeah.
Even having him not with me was a huge lesson. Just missing him was good for me.
Hmm.
More acceptance of my situation and purpose
That would
and
go
all of
on
that.
that right side of a list. If you may, when you're in that place of overwhelm because of his behavior, it might
Right.
even be a good exercise to do that. I'm mad because of this, or I'm sick of that behavior, or whatever it is. And then on that other side, I got a deeper understanding of our relationship by being separated, or the separation.
Well, and then certain things, cut that, cut the stress of that. Like last night after, him acting out and everything, and me just kind of like, okay, I put my hands up in the air. All right, then that's what it is. I looked over and he's breathing all strange. And I said, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm calming myself down. So he was doing the breathing stuff. And so, here he was making an effort to calm himself down and control his own emotions. And so what came to me was, oh, he's struggling. This is a problem to be solved, not
Mm,
just bad behavior.
mm-hmm.
So it gave
Ooh,
it, you understand?
ooh, that's beautiful. I hope you wrote that down. This is a problem to be solved. It's not
Yeah, it's
bad
not a
behavior.
behavior. Yeah. And he's struggling.
Uh-huh.
He woke up 2 days in a row crying about Nicole, sobbing.
Hmm.
And so, it gave me some compassion toward him, that he was trying. And suddenly I felt really soft and tender toward him,
Hmm.
uh, that because he was struggling. Um, and I see that in children too. Like with my daughter, I always saw her behavior as a problem that she was having that needed to be solved,
Hmm.
instead of like, well, I'm going to punish you because this is bad behavior. A lot of times bad behavior is an indication of a struggle that they might be having. So you can step in and help. So that helped me a lot to calm down myself. I actually got tears in my eyes. I was all, oh my God, look how hard he's trying. He's doing breathing exercises. Poor boy.
And see, and that's what I mean. That you've raised him up, his vibration. You've given him more tools and then
Yeah.
maybe there's something, Nicole, I'm sure Nicole, she lives forever, in your heart.
Oh yeah.
Just when you think of her, maybe hold out your hand and imagine her holding your hand. That has helped me with Randy. But now Randy's thing was holding hands. You know what I mean? But just something like that where you can have that in that moment and then hold it in a ball in your hand. And whenever you want to feel good about Nicole or you're missing Nicole, just imagine holding her hand and all that love and joy. So that might help.
It does help. And then the messages that she sent me over the years, on Messenger, um, through the different things that I've gone through, sometimes I go back and read those when I need inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Like the night before she died, I think she knew she was going to, because the last thing she said to me in a message was, and it was in the middle of the night she died. She said, when you feel down and you don't think you can do it, you have to remember who you are and how far you've come and how strong you really are. I love you.
Mm, yeah.
And so sometimes I go back and read that little note, and I tell her I love her when I'm just doing my stuff around the house. I'll,
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, Oh, I love you and miss you so much, you know. I think that's been part of the problem too. I finally got these people out, and now she would just be like completely involved in making lists and just toe to toe, side by side, walking through it with me, you know.
Mhm,
And I miss her for that, but I also know I can do this myself,
mhm. And this is the bridge to your children.
right? I want to get there.
This is
I
the
want to be there.
bridge.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And then I'll have all the support I need, because
mhm.
Amy's always nice to me. Amy never wants to hurt my feelings. She would never do anything on purpose to hurt me. And even when she was a kid, she didn't do that.
Mhm.
You know, like she would tell people, my mom is everything. You
Oh, I
know,
can
I'm
tell.
safe with my
Yeah. Mhm, mhm,
I'm so blessed in that way. And so are you. Look at
mhm.
how supportive your son was and how much that helped you
Oh my
yesterday.
God, one phone call, he turned it all around. And he's
Yeah.
taking my dog. He's taking my
Yeah.
dog. I,
Yeah.
I, I plan on borrowing my dog.
Look how free you're going to be.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah.
You're going to get so much work done,
Mhm,
and all this other stuff on the side is going to just go away because you won't be dealing with your sister. You know, it's just like me. I'll be out of Reading. I'll be finally out of Shasta County. I'm considering changing my name back to my maiden name and just becoming a whole new person.
mhm, mhm,
You know what I mean? Just living a whole new life.
mhm.
And so,
And leaving that all behind.
but mhm,
Mhm,
leaving it all behind. And now today I'm going to actually do breathing exercises with Tom, and we're going to be doing that every day. So I'm
mhm.
going to try to help him. He wants to follow you. He wants to follow you also.
Oh, maybe I
You know
need to
what I
make
mean?
him a special video.
You could.
Wouldn't you
You sure
love that?
could.
A
Yeah, and
special
then I would
video.
videotape him watching the video to send it back to you, because he really is a
Oh,
sweet person.
I'd love that. Oh, I'd love that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Okay.
what good visualizations are for him?
What kind of visualizations?
Mhm,
Oh, gosh. Uh Being with family, um, oh, getting a new pet, because I told them when we get there, he gets a German Shepherd.
mhm,
Um, Listening to music and playing instruments, and
What's his
these are
favorite
all the
kind of
things.
music does he listen to?
Um, well, he really loves classic rock, you know, like he loves Creedence Clearwater Revival right now is his complete and total favorite.
Okay.
And he doesn't know this, but he's asleep, so it won't matter. I got him a microphone to plug into his Fender amp, so he can
Mm.
sing and hear himself singing.
Oh,
Yeah. And I replaced the ukulele from Hawaii.
okay. Well, I'll just
And
say playing guitar and singing. Oh, or
yeah,
does
yeah,
he play the ukulele?
yeah.
He had one.
He play. He's getting one for Christmas. It's here.
Well, I don't want to blow any ideas.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
but he loves all those all kinds of instruments, and yeah. What?
I could go and is that one of his favorites?
Yeah,
So I can say something like maybe playing your favorite instrument
yeah,
and maybe or visualize yourself or see yourself, see a picture of you, because I have to remember I'm working with a childlike, so this will be
yeah, yeah.
different.
There you go. Uh-huh.
See a picture of
Oh,
you
how
playing
sweet of you.
your
You're gonna make me cry
it'll be my
for
Christmas present.
joy.
I'll do it soon though.
Oh, sweet,
Let's
honey.
sing it. Let's see, playing guitar and singing and playing your favorite instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a ukulele? Is that?
Yeah, he loves that. Oh, he's really big on his harmonicas though, because they're easy.
And then I'll go or a harmonica.
Yeah. And it's so sweet because he'll say that the big one has red notes comes out of it and the smaller one has blue notes that come out of it. And he says he can see the notes coming out of the harmonicas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And they don't have colors. So I'll ask him, which one do you want, the big one or the little one? And he'll say, the big one, the red one, the one that makes red notes.
Oh, that's so funny. That's interesting.
You know?
Huh. And he probably does see it. Well,
Yeah,
he's
I'll
using
bet.
other senses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is deep in senses. Okay, so what key takeaways for today?
That number one, that I'm always stronger than I think I am. And, so that's a key takeaway. Making decisions from a spiritual place. I love that. And I learned that by talking to you yesterday, and helping you out, saying this is your journey and God has put this is all the way it's supposed to be. That's why I said on your, and so it is, and so it shall be. That was my reply to that post you made about having to deconstruct things, that I love when you say that, because it just works for everything. And so it is, and so it shall be. Everything is preordained. You told the higher power, I have told the higher power, I want to get to this certain place. And it isn't like a smooth road to get there. Like I said, hairpin turns. Sometimes you got to turn around and come back and do it over again. So there are a lot of spirituality came out of the last 2 days, and using what's in your tool belt. Because when we're upset, we don't use our tools.
Right.
We just let ourselves go into that panic thing. The two-sided list, and I wrote with outcomes and reasons. That I will work on, then I'll have that for our next meeting. I am statements, and then the process of identifying any blocks that I have going on. I fell into that vortex of the void that was left after I wasn't fighting to get the house back. And so now I have to get on the new journey, which is the new thing I have to do, which is to get that house sold. As soon as that house is sold, I can buy another one. So that is my impetus. When I'm being lazy and saying, oh, I can take another day off. I can lay in bed and read. I can make sandwiches for dinner. That's avoidance. That's not self-care. That's avoidance. And I need to know the difference.
So what level, this might be helpful. Ask yourself, what level am I committed to showing up today? Right?
Right.
What level am I? So if I'm in avoidance, what level is that? Of 0 to 10?
Yeah, that's like you're at a 1.
Okay, so so now you got it on a scale. You have an idea where it lands. So at what level am I committed to showing up as today? Could be a 7, could be a 5. And what does 5 look like?
Yeah, I'm thinking that after I get off here, since it's still early, I'm going to spend a couple of hours on the phone, looking up and contacting contractors who can come in and get the floors, the paint, and the blinds done. So I'll feel better about today if I can get at least some quotes on that and figure out where I'm at on that. And then I can make appointments for people to come out and look at it and then give me an estimate. So if I at least made those phone calls today and got that process started, I'd feel much better. So when I get off here, I'm going to do that. That was on my list this morning, because I knew it says on the top of my list, I am in avoidance. It says right on the top before I even talk to you, I am in a place of avoidance, and I need to get out of there. I've had 3 days of getting ready for the snow, and then 2 days of laying around and reading books and staying in bed and staying warm. It was self-care, but now it's avoidance.
So what what statement could you change that to? I'm in avoidance, or I've been in avoidance, or whatever. What could you change that to?
I'm not letting myself get into a place of avoidance. I'm going to get these things done today.
In avoidance.
Something more powerful than that.
I'm in avoidance. I'm ready.
In order to move on, I need to get busy and do the things on my list, you know?
How about something like that? I'm an action taker.
Okay, got that. I'm gonna write
I'm
that
an
down.
action taker. You
Okay,
think that thought, I'm in avoidance, I'm an action taker.
right,
That's nice and short. I am an
Right.
action taker. Yeah. And then maybe the
Yep.
next question. So what's my next step? My next step, and my
Right.
next step. I do that a lot with myself when I'm feeling overwhelmed. I go, okay, I'm going to work on this for an hour, you know, and then I'm going to put it down. And then what's my next step?
yeah, exactly. I kind of just, you know, outline how I can get it done, and then I feel so much better.
I am an action
Taker. So what's
taker.
my next step? Love that.
So what's my next? I'll use that one. That was good.
No, that is a good one. I'm going to
And
use
that was
that for a
from-
long time.
And it was from, what was the statement? I'm in avoidance. I'm
Right.
in avoidance. So you see how powerful that is. I'm in avoidance. I'm an action taker.
Right.
So it's noticing when you're making those statements or feeling those feelings. Sometimes we're feeling feelings and we don't have a name for it. That's one of my feeling, you know, and then, you know,
Right.
kind of like yesterday, you know, you helped me so much identify that. That was emotional pain.
Yes.
And not wanting to, there was shame and not wanting to be here. It didn't mean that I
Right.
wanted to hurt myself. There was,
Right.
God, you nailed it. It was emotional pain. You know, I was in shock. Physically, emotionally.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that was really powerful. For you to name
Rejection
that.
is hard when you come from a rejective parent. Rejection in general is hard to deal with if you've been a rejected child
It's a trigger.
or an overly, yeah, it does trigger that, like
Oh,
they don't
yeah.
want me, I'm no good and I shouldn't exist and all those things. And I have a few skills myself. I've helped some people through some stuff.
Yeah.
Just from, you know, how I've felt, you know. But we're a good team, you and I.
Yeah.
We do
Yeah, we
good,
are.
and I'm happy and I'm proud to have been able to help you yesterday. And I'm honored that you would reach out to me.
Yeah. Well, and then you were, I mean, when you said, I've been awake for 20 minutes and that you wanted to call me, you know, that was it. I was the first thing on your mind, you know, one of
Yeah.
the first things on your mind. And that made me feel so loved.
Oh, good, honey, because you are. You are. And we have a future, you and I. We're going to be visiting each other. We're going to be coming up with crafts. Just stuff is going to happen. We're going to know each other forever now.
Mhm.
You can't get away now. I'm not going to let you.
Yeah. Okay, you good? So let's
All
see.
right.
This was like, did you get the email with the list of, I'll send another one. I'll link it and send another
Okay.
one of the videos. Here, let me turn this off.
Okay.
Because I think we're done.
Okay, email link. I got that. Okay. There we go.
I'm looking for how to turn it off.